What if the Kansas City Chiefs just became completely unstoppable? Not almost unstoppable, not really good, completely untouchable. Because there's a move on the table right now that would make every single NFL team look up from their schedule, stare at Kansas City, and think, we're in trouble. Picture this. Patrick Mahomes, already the most dangerous quarterback alive, already a man who has made the impossible look boring, already the guy who has dragged this franchise to the top of the football world year after year after year. Now imagine giving him a weapon, a real weapon, a superstar wide receiver who changes the entire math of defending this offense. The Chiefs have always found a way to win without elite receiver talent. That's the crazy part. Mahomes has done it with tight ends, with running backs, with sheer will and improvisation that makes defensive coordinators lose sleep. But every single analyst, every scout, every fan in the back of their mind has always asked the same question. What happens when you finally give Mahomes that guy? What happens when defenses can no longer cheat, can no longer shade coverage, can no longer bracket Travis Kelce, because now there's a threat on the outside who can burn you just as fast? Here's where it gets real. The moment this team adds a true number one wide receiver, the rest of the league doesn't just get worse by one player, they get worse by a multiplier, because now every single play Mahomes runs becomes a nightmare to defend. You cover the outside, Kelce eats you alive in the middle. You cover Kelce, the wideout is already behind your secondary. You try to do both, Mahomes runs it himself, and you're standing there wondering what just happened. This isn't just addition, this is a domino effect. And here's the thing nobody talks about enough. Andy Reid, the head coach who has been doing this for decades, the man who installs an offense so complex that even brilliant defensive minds take weeks to even begin breaking it down. Now put a first-tier receiver in his hands, a guy who runs every route, a guy who can take the top off, a guy who can get open on first and second down and make third down feel irrelevant. Andy Reid with that kind of firepower is not just a Super Bowl contender, that's a cheat code. Think about the Super Bowl runs this team has already made, multiple championships, a dynasty that people are still arguing about how to rank in history. And through all of it, through every comeback, every fourth quarter miracle, every moment where Mahomes somehow found a way, this team never had that elite outside receiver. They won without it. So what happens when they finally get it? There are teams right now spending entire off-seasons building defenses specifically designed to slow Kansas City down, coordinators drawing up schemes, coaches losing sleep, front offices spending money they don't have just to have a chance. And if this move happens, all of that work, all of that planning, all of those sleepless nights, gone, just like that. Because you cannot game plan for a team that has no weakness. You cannot build a wall against a team that can go over it, under it, around it, and through it all at the same time. The Chiefs are already standing at the top of the mountain. This would just mean they build a bigger mountain. And honestly, the scariest part isn't what this team would do this season. The scariest part is what Mahomes, at this age, with this kind of support, could do for the next 5 years. The rest of the NFL should be very, very nervous.